Mastering corrective action process. Corrective actions are only as good as their ability to prevent the same mistake twice. Where does the implementation of a corrective action process in our organization specifically aim to drive operational excellence? And what is its overall purpose in preventing recurrence of nonconformities and improving our overall performance? As I sit back and ponder the journey our organization took to implement a corrective action process, I'm reminded of the power of self-awareness and the importance of owning up to our mistakes. It all began when we realized that we were repeatedly making the same errors, and it was costing us dearly in terms of time, resources, and reputation. Our leadership team came together to identify the root cause of the problem, and that's when we discovered that our lack of a structured corrective action process was the culprit. We knew we had to act fast, but we also knew that simply slapping a band-aid on the problem wouldn't work. We needed a systemic solution that would address the underlying issues and prevent similar nonconformities from happening in the future. The first step was to gather our cross-functional team and define what operational excellence meant to us. We didn't want to just focus on fixing the immediate problem, we wanted to create a culture where excellence was the norm. We wanted to empower our employees to take ownership of their work, to identify areas for improvement, and to suggest solutions. Next, we developed a corrective action process that was robust, yet flexible enough to adapt to our unique needs. We established clear roles and responsibilities, defined key performance indicators, and developed a system for tracking and analyzing data. One of the most critical components of our corrective action process was the root cause analysis. We recognized that symptoms are often just that, symptoms, and that we needed to dig deeper to find the underlying causes of the nonconformities. We trained our team members on various analytical tools and techniques, and encouraged them to think critically and creatively. But we didn't stop there. We knew that a corrective action process is only as good as its implementation, so we developed a comprehensive training program to ensure that every employee understood their role in the process. We also established a system of accountability, where employees were encouraged to hold themselves and their colleagues accountable for adhering to the process. As we began to implement the corrective action process, I have to admit that it wasn't easy. There were times when we felt like we were taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But we persevered, and slowly but surely, we started to see the results. Our error rates began to decline, and our customer satisfaction scores started to rise. But more importantly, we saw a shift in our culture. Our employees were more engaged, more empowered, and more committed to delivering exceptional results. Throughout the process, I couldn't help but think about the parallels between personal growth and organizational growth. Just as individuals need to acknowledge their weaknesses and take corrective action to improve, organizations need to do the same. It's a humbling experience, but one that's essential for growth and success. As I look back on our journey, I'm reminded of the importance of intrinsic motivation. We didn't implement the corrective action process because we had to. We did it because we wanted to. We were driven by a desire to improve, to excel, and to make a difference. And that's the key takeaway from our experience. Operational excellence isn't a destination, it's a journey. It requires a willingness to confront our weaknesses, to take ownership of our mistakes, and to continuously improve. It requires a deep understanding of our cultural nuances and a commitment to empowering our employees. As I reflect on our journey, I'm filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment. We didn't just implement a corrective action process, we created a culture of excellence that will continue to drive our organization forward for years to come. The implementation of a corrective action process in our organization specifically aims to drive operational excellence by systematically identifying, reporting, and correcting nonconformities, defects, or undesirable situations that could impact our products, services, or processes. The overall purpose of this process is to prevent the recurrence of such incidents and improve our overall performance by enhancing the reliability, efficiency, and effectiveness of our operations. To achieve operational excellence through the corrective action process, we must focus on several key objectives. Firstly, we must establish a robust system for reporting and tracking nonconformities, which enables us to quickly identify and respond to any incidents that may occur. This system should include a clear definition of what constitutes a nonconformity, a standardized reporting process, and a centralized database for tracking and analyzing incidents. Once a nonconformity has been reported, the corrective action process should initiate a thorough investigation to determine the root cause of the incident. This investigation should involve a multidisciplinary team that includes representatives from relevant departments, such as quality, manufacturing, engineering, and procurement. The team should use analytical tools and methodologies, such as fishbone diagrams, flowcharts, and SWOT analysis, to identify the underlying causes of the nonconformity. Following the investigation, the corrective action process should develop and implement corrective actions to prevent the recurrence of the nonconformity. These corrective actions may involve changes to procedures, processes, or designs, as well as additional training for employees or suppliers. The process should also establish clear responsibilities and timelines for implementing the corrective actions, and ensure that all stakeholders are informed and involved. To ensure the effectiveness of the corrective action process, we must also establish a process for verifying and validating the corrective actions. This may involve conducting audits, inspections, or tests to ensure that the corrective actions have been implemented correctly and are achieving the desired results. Additionally, the process should provide for continuous monitoring and evaluation of the corrective actions to identify opportunities for further improvement. Another critical aspect of the corrective action process is the identification and allocation of resources necessary to support the implementation of corrective actions. This may involve budgeting for equipment, personnel, or training, as well as allocating sufficient time and resources for the investigation, implementation, and verification of corrective actions. The corrective action process should also be integrated with other operational excellence initiatives, such as continuous improvement, lean manufacturing, and total productive maintenance. This integration will enable us to leverage the strengths of these initiatives to drive even greater improvements in our operations and achieve our goals of operational excellence. Finally, the corrective action process should be reviewed and updated regularly to ensure that it remains effective and relevant. This may involve reviewing incident data, customer feedback, or supplier performance, as well as benchmarking our process against industry best practices and regulatory requirements. By implementing an effective corrective action process, we can prevent the recurrence of nonconformities, improve our overall performance, and drive operational excellence in our organization. This will enable us to deliver high-quality products and services, meet customer expectations, and maintain a competitive edge in our industry.